Hey everybody, so we are on, like Samantha said, week 29 for me. And this is a common problem, especially in times of being stressed out, of being pulled in a lot of different directions, being overstimulated with everything going on in the world and the news, whatever. A lot of times the issue with memory is we're not even like I don't want to say like not present, but we don't like take in the information to even form the memory. And so the idea of memory and memory processing is not just functions in the brain, but it's also the ability to take in information and process information. So things like stress play a significant role in dealing with memory issues because like sometimes we're distracted, we're multitasking, our head somewhere else and something happens. And then when we try to recall it, there's nothing to recall because we never formed the memory in the first place. It just didn't sink in. And so the thing that I find kind of interesting and fascinating about memory is it kind of plays a role or some of the same mechanisms, I should say, in like with clairvoyance or intuition, observation. The idea of clairvoyance is not just like, oh, I see the energy around a person. I see this color. I see that color. It's also the ability to see a piece of information and have it like expand into something much greater than what the mind already knows. The intellect is always dealing with the past. Intuition is dealing with the here and now and even potentials that are beyond the senses. So, like the potential for a new experience or something spontaneous, something that's outside our normal experiences. This is pierced through the practice of intuition. And the other day, uh, we've been traveling around, not just for the weekend, but like we did a fire ceremony with a group on Friday. And, Samantha and I were talking about it afterwards, and she was saying, it's this very intense process, and there's like a hat and these instruments and everything, and the flow of the ceremony, there's kind of a lot to it. And Samantha was asking me, she was like, did you memorize that? Or like, I can't remember what exactly you said. You were like, how did you know to do those certain things? And, from the point of view of intellect, you go, well, like I memorize these things. These are the procedures. This is the outline. You do this step, this step, this step, this step. And I said, like, that's the thing with ceremony is it's not about that. It's not about going through these procedures or these steps. It's even the person who Pran Preet was asking, like, I can't remember what she said, but like how did you know, or like what do you do, or does it just come to you? And it's almost it's the same idea of accessing information in the ethers is I get the idea of it and everything, but like before, like we sit down to ceremony, it's not like I'm thinking about all the details. It's like sitting in the car. Like, you might not think about all the different things you're getting into a new car, but you sit there and you start looking around, you go, okay, that's the gas pedal, that's the brake, this is the wheel, this is how you turn it on and off. Some cars are different than others. This is how all these things happen, and you kind of sit and you get a feel for it, and then you go, okay, let's make this baby move, right? And it's the same idea with the ceremony is I understand some of the premises, but then when I sit down and got the hat on and got some of the tools and I'm sitting in front of the fire, it becomes very clear what needs to be done. And it's not from the point of view of that I've studied this or I've read about this, it is this like access point to something internal. You're having an inner sort of kind of awareness. And that's the beautiful thing about intuition, and that's the beautiful thing about clairvoyance. It's the idea of just looking at something, being able to see colors is such a low level of clairvoyance that, you know, people will sometimes get stuck on that. But it's this ability of like tapping into, you could call it truth. Like truth is dynamic. It's not just like a fact that you stick on the shelf. You look at it and it opens up into this really big thing that you wouldn't experience unless you have the ability to sit with it, observe it, and have it blossom and open up and show you all these different aspects. And I would say the same for memory. The reason why I'm talking about this is, you have your memories of this or that, but sometimes if you sit with the memory, all of a sudden the memory opens up and you start seeing things that, even though you might not have processed it in the moment, right? Even though you go back and you look at like, oh, this thing that happened 10 years ago, sit there and you look at it and you're kind of recalling some of the things and you sit with it, all of a sudden you see other dynamics that were always there, right? They were always there, but we didn't quite process them in the moment. And this is still tied to this aspect of memory, of being able to bring something forth that even your mind might only perceive a little piece of it. Sometimes that data is up there. And a good example of this is even like a dream. A dream, there's stress dreams, there's nightmares, there's things like that. But a lot of times dreams are a kind of perception or a kind of realization. And you wake up and you go, oh, there's this thing that happened in my dream, and this happened, that happened. And then you go, okay, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to put pen to paper. Or you start talking about it with somebody, and so much more information comes out about the dream that is not necessarily what you first remembered, right? As you start to sit and put your attention and awareness on something, your perception of the situation grows and evolves. And I think the thing that we have sometimes with memory is, for one, we kind of pigeonhole it into just a fact retrieval system. And we don't really look at it as a place to, a thing to take us to a place to where it can open up and have access to much greater pieces of information. And I think that's an important part of memory that we really tend to overlook or are not even aware that it's there. And so, yes, of course, we want to improve our memory. Yes, we want to be able to recall something when we're going, that movie, with that guy in it, and, it's in that thing, and he's in that other movie. We want to be able to blow past all that kind of stuff. But there's other things to remember that are much greater, much more valuable, and sometimes much dearer to the heart that we can recall and open up that we wouldn't necessarily do otherwise. And so, I don't know. There's a lot more to memory than just how we think about memory. And so this is something that could be also used as prevention for dementia, to offset stress. This weekend is a 1 day class where we're hitting vagal tone and things like dystonia and asthenia that impacts the nervous system and dysfunction and would impact our ability to remember and perceive. So hopefully you can join us. It's just a 1 dayer. And so hopefully you can join us for that. But enough of me yakking about this and that. Let's jump into memory. So the blend is memory support, and we're going to start off with a standard approach. And again, this is something you could do on a daily basis as an add-on to other processes or as a stack with other Auric programs. So you're going to begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the whole left side of your body, the whole left side. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Mhm. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the left side of the body. And then let's do the front side of the body. The whole front side, the face and throat, the chest, the abdomen, down the fronts of the legs to the tops of your feet. The whole front side. The right side of the body. The whole right side. Right side of the face and neck, the right shoulder and hip, down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. And the backside of the body, the whole backside, backside of the head and neck, your whole back and hips, down the backs of your legs to your heels, the whole backside. And then pause and be still. Pause and be still. Notice how you feel, your body, your emotions, your thoughts. And again, this is the standard approach, something that can be done daily, again, with another process that you might be doing. Or you could be doing it as an Auric stack, which is something where you would take maybe 3 or 4 other Auric programs and do them all together as a process unto itself. So let's jump into the advanced approach. This is something that you would do 1 to 2 times a week. And again, you're giving your time, you're giving yourself time to process this, your energy body, your physical body. So you could do the standard approach in between, but this is something that you would be doing on a daily basis. Your awareness is on the left side of the body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the left side of the face and neck, left shoulder, all the way down to the left outer ankle. Nice, long, slow, deep breath. Now move your awareness to the back side of the body, the whole back side, back of the head and neck, your whole back, down the backs of your hips and legs, all the way down to your heels. Then the right side of your body, the whole right side. Right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder and ribs, your right hip, down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. The front side of your body, face and throat, chest, abdomen, all the way down to the tops of your feet. And then just pause and be still. And just being still. Let's begin inhaling. Your awareness is on your knees, either the whole knee or the back of the knee. Your awareness is on your knees. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then your awareness is on the ankles. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the ankles. The soles of your feet. Your awareness is on the soles of your feet. And then pause and be still. Pause and be still. And then pause and be still. Okay, we're doing the quadrants again. Left side of your body, the whole left side of your face and neck, your left shoulder, all the way down to the left outer ankle. The front side of your body, the whole front side, your face and throat and chest, abdomen, down the fronts of your legs to the tops of your feet. Front side of your body, face and throat, chest, abdomen, all the way down to the tops of your feet. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. The right side of the body. The whole right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder, hip, all the way down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. The back side of the body, the whole back side. The whole back side of the body. Back of the head and neck, your whole back, hips, all the way down to your heels. Just pause and be still. Okay, last little piece. Your awareness is on the brain. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the brain. Your awareness is on the spine. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the spine. Your brain and spine both at the same time. Brain and soles of your feet. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the brain and the soles of your feet. And as you inhale, you're moving your awareness up above your ankles. As you exhale, down into the earth. Inhale up, exhale down. And then pause and let go. Notice how you feel your body, your emotions, your thoughts. The thing that I would say about treating memory is, it's just not a one time thing or you do it for a week or two. It's best treated over a long period of time. You're shifting the nervous system, you're increasing blood flow to the brain, you're shifting things in the aura, the energy body. And so consistency is the key to shifting something like this. And so, anyway, let's go ahead and share experiences, ask questions, and then after that, we'll get into our normal Q&A. But first, we'll do the Auric programming questions and shares for just a few minutes, and then we'll jump right into the normal questions, or as normal as we can get. So go ahead and fire away.
Go ahead, Denise, then Dan.
Hey, Denise.
Hello. I have a lot of disconnect off to that left side, especially down around my feet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Any suggestions? I mean,
So it just always
have
feels like, what does it feel like heavy or?
like I don't have as strong a connection there. I have rolled that outside that ankle at one point in time. But I think it's
Yeah,
maybe I'm not as
like the
grounded.
energy is all the way up down that left side is a little bit like denser, like your aura doesn't look like as round on that part. Um, let's see, what should we do about that? And this is something that you've mentioned before, so you've been working on it, right?
Yeah, yes, I really do struggle with that. And I think it might even affect that osteoporosis up in that left hip too. So probably that whole left side. It might have been, who knows, maybe when the horse fell on top of me. I don't know.
How,
But
how about we have you use like some form of health rays, like health
okay.
rays, healthway premium. If you don't have health rays, maybe helichrysum. And instead of doing the four quadrants, let's just have you really focus on that left side. You can still do the other quadrants, but like 5 times as much longer on that one side. Really you could just do the left side sometimes. Sometimes even when I'm doing healing, like there is this aspect in aura, because like here we're talking about the auric program, but eventually we even expand outside the aura and the auric program, and we start to tap into more of the astral component of the energy body. And so like sometimes when I'm going through and doing healing, like be it on myself or somebody else, is that sometimes the sides can get weirdly congested.
Mm,
And I would say that that probably, I mean, it can always be an injury or something that happened on that side of the body. But I would say that the tendency is that there tends to be a little bit more of like that astral component, like that emotional component.
mm,
But how we talk about emotions being generated in the body and the physiology, it's kind of beyond that. Like it'd be like the stuff of your dreams and the stuff that you process internally. It's not like your everyday kind of emotions. It's kind of like stuff you come in with and stuff that you're processing and stuff that influences a lot more of like the direction of your life and things like that. And so let's have you start with the health raise. I think that's a really good place to do some work with it. And then from there, there are ways to kind of go through and pop some of that stuff, but you really have to kind of prep the energy body because like when you go deeper out into that area, that energy that gets released, it still kind of comes through the body. So, like that's why we do a lot of like the organs of blood purification. We do a lot of the arms and legs. We do a lot of the spine. We do a lot of materialization breath. And, that idea of materialization is a way of kind of cleaning up some of the things in the astral body, the astral realm. And so, you know
So
that
maybe do the materialization breath
do
after
the
I do that.
materialization breath, especially the component of um if you did that one where we did action, inertia, and integration, and if you didn't, um use something like I would use something like maybe like do it in threes if it's possible. Like start with maybe cinnamon and then do mugwort and then do let's see, I have some things in my notes. Let me look at my notes. Trying to do this from memory, and ironically we're doing the memory or programming and I'm like, I remember what it is. Valerian, like Valerian or vetiver.
Okay.
Because the idea is, that's the thing that's really nice about the materialization, especially when we go into like deeper aspects of materialization. It's not just about like, oh, I'm trying to heal or I'm trying to get my goal or my job or, whatever. There really is mechanics that come into play when you're doing work that has to do with materialization, be it however you're doing it, even if it's just prayers, that really is hard to access in other ways. And the the thing is like at first you're going beyond the senses, you're tapping into something beyond the senses, and then you're bringing something in motion. And then from bringing something in motion, there we have the tendency to get distracted either by other people or our stuff or whatever it might be. And so, like, we kind of go through and refine that. And the idea of then using the Valerian, this is usually done more for like health and healing. Um, the Valerian Vetiver would work, Spikenard would work, but Valerian is the best. Like even if you didn't have those, if you
I
didn't have
do.
Valerian, you could also use like maybe vagal tone. Um, the idea for that is that it's a it's a restorative, and so part of what we call like our difficulties in healing and disease is really in some way, in some area, in something's not processing. Granted, we get older, our body ages, things like that. But I'm talking about like when we have like, oh, there's a blockage here, or there's something going on, or, I look at it from the point of view of like, okay, my injury to my back and my knees and all that. There's some sort of blockage there that's not being processed. And so we look at the physiology and we look at the homeostatic emotion and how things, we look at all these different aspects, right? And so like that idea of like how we're working the different aspects of the planetary energies. It's waking up kinds of consciousness within us that we can go through and process out of some of these things, because a lot of these things that we think of as a pain in the butt that we can't deal with, that's been a little bit of a pattern in our life, is we came in with it. It's been going on for a very long time, not just this lifetime. It's been going on for a very long time. So how do we kind of process out of some of these things, right? And so the work with materialization becomes kind of key, because it it moves energy in those areas, but at the same time, if there's a blockage, we're either going to push through it or it's going to come up so that we can kind of go through and address it. And it's not going to be the whole thing at once, but it's going to be these little pieces of it at a time. And sometimes when other things aren't working, to go through and do the materialization process in these things is like a way of like just continually kind of pushing through this, like this wall or this boundary of whatever it is it might be. And then if you step back and you go, okay, you have the difficulty with your son, you have things that you're dealing with, and they're lifelong. Like, they're
Yeah.
not necessarily just a right now thing. And so the idea of using the materialization process is you're materializing light in those. So you're learning lessons, you're moving through them. And the thing about materializing light is that you're breaking out of the repetition of why that keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, throughout the lifetime, and sometimes even several lifetimes. And so let's have you start with the health raise, and then go through and start doing some of the materialization work. You know, with everything going on, where we're coming back around to where we're going to be doing a lot more deeper work with the Auric program and the materialization, and like, we're going to be doing a lot of materialization work with that next class that we're doing in August. It's going to be in some of even the free classes and stuff. Like, usually when I do it, I don't do it just an isolated way. We kind of cover it a lot of different ways in an area. And there's different levels and there's different kinds of materialization. But starting here with healing, like you said, you have some health issues on that particular side, you have some patterns in your life. Even if we start simple with the cinnamon, then the mugwort, and then
Valerian.
the valerian. And so the way that I would do it is do the materialization breath with cinnamon, with mugwort, do the, like how we just did it, the brain soles of the feet. And then with the valerian, do the four quadrants.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Craig.
You're so welcome. Yeah. Because like I was saying, the first part, the action part, um, with the cinnamon, you're still kind of going out beyond the senses. And then, that one, not as much as some of the other processes, but still the same idea. You're doing it, because if you think about it, like cinnamon is stimulating the body's processes, right? It stimulates all the body's processes. So even with that, you're going beyond the repetition of the body into something that is beyond what it normally does, because you're stimulating processes that might be laying dormant or might not be functioning well. So even there, you're still going beyond the senses. You're going beyond the repetition of homeostasis. You're going beyond the repetition of the mind. Then you're putting something in motion. And the mugwort helps kind of get everything moving and flowing in a particular way. And it's what you would use to break up blockages in the body, especially like in Chinese medicine. You use mugwort to open up the channels.
Wow.
And then once that healing energy kind of comes in, then you use the restorative to restore that. You've made the shift, so now you're restoring things in the body and you're integrating it. And so in the body, it starts to bring a new kind of repetition in the body that's been upgraded in homeostasis, but it also will upgrade the intellect. Like you have this new idea or this new process, this new kind of awakening that gets integrated into your normal everyday intellectual mind. And so that going back and forth between the materialization process and bringing it in, even on the level of just like physical healing, you still can break through things.
This is great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
And for those of you guys who just joined us, we're still doing the art programming shares and questions, and then I'll cue you guys when we are going to the regular Q&A. Go ahead, Dan, then Terry Lynn.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Greg. You were talking about the aspects of truth.
Mhm.
Something that I've come across before is like, see, like this cup, you know, the cup for it on me, it's on the left side, but the handle is on the right side for like you or the people that are watching. So, I
Mhm.
mean, at the same time, it's the same cup, right? The truth
Mhm.
is the cup, and then it's just a different perspective of it. So just wanted to kind of share that. Um, the other thing is the for this round was extremely soothing and
Mhm.
very calming. It was to the point where I felt I didn't have to breathe, kind of thing. It was that
Oh, nice. Yeah.
deep and relaxing to where
Very
you're
deep
like
stillness. Yeah.
very, just very, like
Yeah.
need to pick up the breath again, kind of thing. So
Right.
it's very, very, very soothing,
Good for you.
calming. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that happens with very deep sustained awareness, is that the breath will slow down and sometimes even have big periods of pause in between the inhalation and exhalation.
Yeah, huge. It was huge. I could feel like my my pulse, right? My heart was beating, but
Hmm.
it's like I didn't need to pick up a breath or something like that. And it was just like really just slow, methodical, and just
Good for you.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
There,
you.
there's usually like when that's happening, there's usually big shifts in the nervous system. You know how we talk about the different kinds of loops, be it a pain loop, trauma loop, behavior loop, self,
Mm.
some sort of self loop, self-esteem, self-image, whatever. And in that stillness, it's almost like turning your computer off and turning it back on again. Something got upgraded and something's working better. It doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be done again at some point, but it's like it's an upgrade and then an upgrade and then an upgrade.
Right.
And one of the ways that like when you have stillness in the nervous system, that's like when like your peaceful thoughts or an affirmation really takes hold in the nervous system. Like if you're super stressed out and you go, okay, I'm surrounded by white light, only good comes to me, only good goes for me.
I've gone through
Yeah,
that.
your buddy's like, yeah, whatever. Like,
Yeah, right.
okay,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
that's cute. You're so cute when you say that. Like, but then when the nervous system is really quiet and you go, okay, I'm surrounded by white light, only good comes to me, only good goes for me, your nervous system kind of goes, okay, yeah, that's a thing. Like it's like it believes it, like it integrates it. It's I don't want to say it quite programs the nervous system, but it definitely nudges it in a way that the nervous system starts operating from that place.
Mhm.
you know. So like if you notice like when you say, I'm not the body or I'm surrounded by white light or whatever at the beginning of a session versus the end, when you say it at the end, it feels so much deeper. And part of it is because the nervous system's been calmed down. Whatever practice got done, the nervous system got calmed down. And the nervous system kind of believes you then, but
Mhm.
otherwise, you say in the middle of stress day, it might be a little bit calming, but your nervous system is like, oh, you and your little sayings,
Yeah,
it doesn't really buy
the
it.
little things you do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay.
yeah.
There was a lot of colors going on in there too.
Oh,
When
good.
when I was at that pace.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
very nice.
yeah. I was very, very nice.
Memory is very interesting. Like there's a lot more to memory than
Yeah,
just recall.
yeah,
There's a lot to it. Yeah,
yeah. Very good.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks again.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead, Terry Lynn.
Hey, Terry Lynn.
There we go.
You're very
Can
choppy.
you,
Might have to stop the
am
video.
I audible? I've been having problems with the speaker and the computer for you.
So we can barely, go ahead and maybe if you turn off the video, that often makes the connection a little better.
Is that better?
Oh yeah, there
Can
you
you hear
go.
me better?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Samantha. You're awesome as usual. Okay, so a long time ago, um, about I believe we were talking about my MS, and
Hmm.
well, I don't know if we were talking about it or not, but you had suggested for me to take memory support, the
Okay.
one with the orange label, a long time ago, and we're doing memory support today,
Hmm.
in dealing with aura. So I'm just a little like, should I be doing this one, which I call number 29, or should I be doing the other memory support?
I think they're the
And
same
which
thing. I think,
one? They smell different to me.
huh? They should be the same. Sometimes slightly
They
different. The
should be the same?
batches can be like slightly different. Like sometimes the basils will smell a little different, or when I'm blending it, it might be, a little tiny bit more of something, but they're pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so is this still your suggestion to take for my MS in general, or just my
I mean, there's all
craziness in my
kinds.
brain?
Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do for MS. The memory support I like very much for MS. The other thing that has gotten used a lot, especially like in Europe, it's not necessarily like going after the MS directly, but it helps to offset some of the symptoms, is lemon verbena. And you would have to take that internally. You could inhale and probably get it on the body, and that might do some, but it's very calming, it's very soothing, it's good for the glands, but it kind of takes the edge off of some of the effects of the MS. And then another thing for MS. How are your symptoms these days?
My symptoms are kind of like hit and miss. They oscillate all over the place. Like, I mean, my major thing today is my tongue is numb in the middle and to the left, and the left side of my face is slightly numb. My walking is awful, and I'm tired a lot right
And
now.
a lot of tension and spasms in the body, or
I I don't really have tensions and spasms that much. I feel like they're pretty good.
I would say maybe even before like I like the idea of lemon verbena for you, but like I also kind of like marjoram or mandarin petitgrain. And that could be like a body tonic or an ointment, a salt bath, a lotion, just something just to help kind of take some of the spasms and tension out of the body and just help the body kind of, like you said, like walking might be a little bit hard or, the nerves aren't functioning quite like they should. Um, Nerve help crosses my mind, but I'd almost rather see do marjoram or like petitgrain. The reason why I say mandarin petitgrain is it's a little bit more relaxing than some of the other petitgrains. Um, Even like basil could be okay. Um, I think there was a time where I was playing with black pepper, like black pepper, white pepper, pink pepper, and some individuals that had MS. I don't know that I got like amazing results with it, but it was like a thing we were trying. So I'm gonna still say I'm stick with like marjoram and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
How's your
Um,
sleep? I'm just curious. How's your sleep?
that's a really good question. Just recently, I've added melatonin back into my
Hmm.
pills of the day, and I've been sleeping, I would say, good. Like
Okay.
I'm getting, according to my fabulous watch, I get like, over 100 minutes of deep sleep, and then a lot of REM and light
Okay.
sleep too.
Yeah.
So
Good, good.
I feel like taking the melatonin right now feels really, really good. Um, we have some extra stressful things. I also got terminated from my job, and
Oh, I'm so
also
sorry to hear that.
we're also losing our house. So all
Oh my
that
God.
stress, yeah, all that stress with the MS is just like
Oh my God.
piling.
Okay,
So there's a lot
so
of fire.
marjoram is good for stress, but let's even like shift it a little bit. Clary sage is also very good for stress, and it's very good for like it can be used for as like an antispasmodic as well. And so like I'd say whatever you had, but those would be like maybe my top two choices besides the memory support and I probably would go marjoram or clary sage just to help with the tension of all that. Because I mean, for anybody, that's like crazy. And then you're dealing with MS on top of that. So we need to be extra careful about like stress levels and spasms in your body and making sure you get deep sleep and things like that. So,
Yeah, June pretty much just like totally a blur. The only thing I remember about June really was
yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was it. Like that's all I remember. So yeah. But okay, so memory support just do inhaling, right? And the marjoram
Yeah.
petitgrain, am I doing that internal or external?
I would probably put it on the body. Like, you could do neat, you could do salt baths. I kind of like the idea of body tonic, salt baths, or an ointment. Even just putting a bunch of lotion and then rubbing it together. And then you don't even have to cover the whole body, but I'd say like your torso or your back, or like if you have some hot spots, I would try that, definitely,
Okay.
going through what you're going through, the more you can keep stress levels down and tension down in your body, the better you'll do through all that. And if you start getting like, where it's escalating or something like that, please email us and let us know so we can kind of help you through that.
Perfect. Thank you. And the clary sage internal body? How do you want that?
Topical, like inhalation or topical. One of the things that I like to do with clary sage is, obviously put it on the body like we said, but inhaling the clary sage like through the organs of blood purification. So lungs, liver, gallbladder, kidney, spleen. It's like a really quick way to flush a lot of stress out of your body, like really quick. And I do that on a regular basis. You know, I will do that. And, for me, I like to take basil for like just, because I'm having to write a lot and stuff. And so like for mental stress, I use basil. But for like the physical stress, like the physical body, the clary sage is better.
And the basil, do you take it internally or is that also
I do.
inhaler body?
Yeah, yeah, you can inhale it, but I take healthy amount of drops a day. I probably take 12 to 15 drops of basil a day, be it holy basil or just regular basil. And, the idea is, it stimulates cognitive function but like I have to, I'm writing a lot. And also if my mind gets tired, I had really bad dyslexia when I was young. And right now it's not too bad. But if I get real fatigued, I start getting dyslexic again. And so I use the basil just to keep pounding at keeping my brain from getting too fatigued and keeping it going from that into the dyslexia.
Thank you so much. You're always so helpful and so fabulous. I really
Oh,
appreciate
you're so
you.
sweet. Thank you. But if it escalates for whatever reason, I mean, you're going through some stressful stuff. Email us and let us know. Like, like we'll help you however we can.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome.
And then we have one more art programming share in the chat. And so if you want to ask a question or have a share for just the regular Q&A, go ahead and you can raise your hand at this time. So the share was, I find this very powerful. My heart really expanded and I saw something like Kuan Yin in a deep pink robe and the robe changed to a violet blue.
Hmm.
Then I saw a man in a suit beside Kuan Yin.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but beautiful.
Especially with the memory support. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah, I'm always surprised when I have something like a memory support that, smells like has peppermint, things that are going to wake up my brain, that I'm like, oh my gosh, this just knocked me out.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, had a hard time staying conscious during it. So that's pretty funny. All right, well, that will complete this week's week 29 memory art program. And next week we are on week 30. Your oil is going to be mind, and it is for mental processing.
Oh yeah, I remember that blend.
Yeah,
I like that blend.
Should be pretty great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all pretty great. Who are we kidding? But
Yeah.
this is fun. All right.
I used to use mind for meditation on the blue pearl.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're stimulating the mental seed and the whole bit.
Would you like inhale before you
I
do
would
that?
I would inhale it and I would do the, how we're doing the brain and then the, ajna back head and the sides. I think I was also doing the materialization breath and all of that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It was quite
Invented it.
delicious. Yeah.
All right, so now we'll start our regular Q&A. And go ahead, Heather, start us off, then go Barbara.
Hey, Heather.
You should be able to just regular unmute yourself.
Sorry, you caught me driving on the freeway in my open top Bronco right now, so I can't hear a darn thing. Can you
Okay, let's
get
just
back
keep
to
your
me?
hand
Like,
raised.
can
You're
you just
really
get me and come back to me?
Yeah, we're gonna come back to you.
Thank
Perfect.
you, Sam.
And then go ahead, Barbara, then Lolly.
Hey, Miss Barbara.
Hey there, thanks. This is a question regarding my mom.
Yes.
She's for several weeks now mid-afternoon has a little bit of an elevated temperature and is having a lot of issues with really loose stools several times a week. I mean, almost liquid. And today she said she just felt like her legs were heavy and she could barely do her walk. I'm guessing her vagal tone is pretty off, but I'm wondering, she might do one or two different things. So I'm wondering what you suggest.
Yeah, does she have any history of cardiovascular issues or anything?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, she's
The
on,
the the heat in the body could be inflammation, but most likely that's a liver issue. Like, are we aware of any sort of liver issues at all? Like, you know,
I don't believe so. She's been on a statin forever, and I'm sure they check those periodically, like once or twice a year. So I'm not aware
okay.
of it.
And so she's been on a statin for quite a while.
Decades.
Okay. Let me look at something here.
She saw someone in an urgent clinic a week ago, and they suggested she stop all her non-prescription supplements, particularly the magnesium. He thought that was causing her digestive stuff. I think some of it's the heat and some of it is stress, but I just want to make sure there's not something underlying going on.
Is she having any fatigue or anything like that?
Yeah, she described she doesn't have a lot of oomph, and as she said, her legs felt just really heavy today. Like it was hard. Walking seemed to
Um,
struggle.
Walking was a struggle and like headaches, dizziness, anything like that?
Hasn't mentioned those. Maybe some headaches in the morning. That wasn't her focus today.
So, like, would you say another way of saying heaviness would be like weakness in the legs?
Quite possibly.
I think it's all side effects of the statin. Like you're hitting almost every marker. Um, Loose stools are definitely a thing. Muscle weakness um, can vacillate between constipation and diarrhea, but usually tends to be a little bit more diarrhea. Definitely liver issues, and whenever you see like the things with the they're not like a constant fever, like it's like the temperature elevates and then goes away and it elevates and it goes away.
Mhm.
Mm, we could treat those things while she's still on the statin. Um, because she's on a statin for a reason and everything. And so I'm not necessarily saying going off the statin, but there's a good chance that it's the issue is the statin. And
Right.
and so
And would that show up many, many years after being on it?
yeah, sometimes people have it right off the bat, but a lot of times it's like after a long period of time, you start having more and more side effects to the statin.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she might want to try talking it out with her pharmacist. I know she talked it out with the doctor, but just like, have her run down some of the side effects and talk it out with her pharmacist and see what he thinks about that. But if we just set that aside, like I would explore the statin thing, but if we just
Yeah.
set that aside and go, okay, she's having these issues, muscle weakness is a very common one also in with like the use of statins. So I would say, if she's open to it, I would probably use something like cinnamon just to stimulate the body's processes and increase and improve like the strength of the body and circulation. Even though she's having a little bit of heat in the body, I would say the cinnamon, it's not necessarily going to address the heat, but I think it could be helpful in in addressing something like that. And then I would like some,
Couple of drops internally.
yeah, like probably 2 drops for her a day is plenty. And then the other thing is I would say some form of something to address the liver. And so that could be something really gentle like timolol. It could be something like helichrysum. Um, Lemon's probably a little too slow to address some of this. The other thing, I with intermittent like fevers, low grade fevers like that, um, verbena sometimes can be helpful. And there's a form of it called it's not in an oil, but it would be in an herb. And I might have some, it's probably not on the site, but I might have a little tiny bit of it made because I make it for myself, and it's called vervain, like blue vervain. And sometimes you can just pick it up in a health food store, but it's not like a uh, Whole Foods or something. It's usually some old hippie, health food store that's got like old school herbs and things. You could probably pick it up on Amazon too. But the vervain is what we used to in adults used to be what we would treat those intermittent like fevers, where it's just like a little low grade fever and then it goes away, and then it's there and then it goes away, and then
Hmm.
it's just it's a liver issue. But vervaine's very good for the liver. Is she having any sort of bursts of like anger or agitation, anything like that?
No, I would say she's more on the, I wouldn't say
Like more
depressed, but
lethargic and things
yeah,
like
more lethargic and
Okay. The cinnamon should help the lethargic part. And then uh
Tylenol and the helichrysum, are those internal or inhalation?
yeah, it would be best if it was internal. If that starts to be too much internal, I would do the Tylenol or the helichrysum topically, probably in and over the liver area, like get it close to the liver area, just let it try to absorb into that area. I mean, I don't know that carrot would be strong enough. Goldenrod might. Um, the other thing you might want to try is sage. Like just throw some sage at her. Like
Topically or
yeah,
internally?
topically rub it on, have her rub it on her feet or several drops on the wrist and just do that and let that kind of be good. If she's open to a body tonic, you could try that, but neat would be plenty.
Okay.
And the thing with the sage is, it helps regulate a lot of things in the body, helps to balance and regulate the nervous system. It's a cure-all, so it does things that are more than just symptom oriented. And the lethargic part, like when you look at the ideas of depression, you know, a lot of depression is actually more physical than it is psychological. The body just gets worn down or gets depleted.
Yeah.
And, with the cinnamon will probably be helpful, but I like the idea of the sage to try to like pump the body up without being overstimulating. I'd still do a little bit of cinnamon. I do a bunch of sage. Um, and then a little something to support the liver, and I think it might not completely resolve it, but I think it would get her feeling a lot better. And then that in conjunction with her just exploring the potential side effects of the statin with her pharmacist, I think that could be a good path.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah. That's the thing sometimes, like with physicians, um they got a bunch of things in their head that they're dealing with and managing. And sometimes when you're dealing with side effects, like usually a pharmacist will be better at catching the side effects than the physician will, because it's their jam. It's like what they do. And so, in the old days, I used to send people and go talk to your doctor. But I started finding that when we'd send them to the pharmacist was a little bit better about catching interactions and things. Doctors got too many things to think about and remember. Like that's a whole genre unto itself. And you might as well go to the people that are that's their specialty is the side effects. And so I'd have her talk it out with her pharmacist.
Thank you. I'll put
Yeah.
together a little care package. I'm going to see her Thursday because she's having a workup for cataract surgery Friday. So
Oh, nice.
probably
Boy, she'll be
stressing
so
about that a
happy
little
with that.
too.
That surgery is so simple and easy these days, and like it's instantaneously they feel better.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead, Lolly. Then we'll try you again, Heather, after that.
Hey,
Hey, sorry. Okay, how are you?
doing good.
Um, okay, let's see a few things. Let's start with a really simple one. The mentoring, is I saw the application last night and then this morning, so
Mhm.
thank you. Is there a deadline for that?
No, it's going to be ongoing for a while. So
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. It's just like, do I need to work on it tonight or do I have a few days? Okay.
No, you have 13 hours from now. Go. No, it's
No, no, yeah,
because people will probably come and go or
yeah,
whatever, and so it's I started to do this a while back, and it wasn't the right timing, and long time ago, I used to mentor in a different modality, and I like that part. Like I like the mentoring part, and so it's just going to be part of our process for a while. You know,
okay, cool, thank you.
we've thrown out so many things, and everybody needs a little help and guidance, I think, in fine tuning it specifically to them and their life. And so, some people might only interact with them a few times and they're satisfied, and some people it might be an ongoing thing. And I have the capacity to manage a lot of people in the mentoring thing. So, I like what I do. So
Yeah,
if there's people who want to do it and talk about it, and you know, let's
okay.
get in there and do it. So
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm
yeah.
excited. So thank you. And then today it's like mostly product questions and symptom
Mhm.
questions. So new product, children's Spagyric body tonic, Melissa. Yeah. So the Melissa body tonic that you have right now for kids. So what I'm wondering about children would be what? So infants as well, like a 2-year-old or what?
Probably up to about the age of like 5 or 6. Like that wasn't something that we had planned on. It was something that somebody asked for. And so we're like, we'll just throw it up on the thing. But basically, it's just a smaller dosage of things, because for a little kid, like an adult version of it, it's too strong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's still got the tincture in it. It's still got, holy water. It's still got that. It's just a little less tincture and a little less of the essential oil so that it's doable for like I'd say from like 6 or 7 under, but can be used on infants. And because I think the person is a baby, right? They're 4. Okay. But
Okay,
like you
so
you could use it on like a 2-year-old or something.
okay, because right now, I mean, I'm asking for my niece and nephew. I mean,
Mhm.
right now my sister is not very consistent about using things, but then when she needs to, she's learning to use them.
Sure.
So,
I mean, I can always
um,
do like little kid versions of things. Like,
yeah.
I just honestly, until this person asked, it didn't even dawn on me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh yeah, we could have stuff for little kids. I just,
Yeah, because
You
Yeah,
know,
because
we
I
have
have
that
the
kit, but other than that, we don't really have things for little kids. And
right,
I
and
think
you
somebody
made
even asked for a like a pet kit, and I was like, I hadn't even thought of that. So like, you know,
because yeah, no, it's right because you made for me the Roman chamomile and the
sure.
Tylenol for kids. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So basically, if I wanted that for them, I'll email you guys. Okay, cool.
Sure,
Thank
sure.
you. And
Yeah.
then basically, well, it does what Melissa does anyway, which is always nice.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just kid dosage. You know,
And
that's the only difference.
would you use it? I mean, again, as an adult, it's easier for me to kind of use pretty much whenever. But with babies, with kids, you would use it what, like after the shower, at night, in the morning? Is there a difference on how it affects them?
I would, I mean, you could use it whenever, but I would probably use it like probably more at night, um, if they have sleep issues and if they're having issues where they're agitated or they're upset or they're having like little outbursts or something, you know, because sometimes their body doesn't feel good or, you know, their digestion's off or something and they get a little or they have a little bit of allergy or something. And so if there's agitation with the child, it could be for that as well. You know, sometimes like if they have like nightmares or like terrors, or they'll have like kind of their version of anxieties and things. Like you could put it on during the day or in the evening, you know, and so it's calming, it's soothing, it helps to regulate the nerves. And, you know, sometimes it's the birthing process could have been agitating to them. You know, there could be something that have happened in utero. You know, you never know. And so sometimes the child comes in and there's just something where you know, they have a little bit of something going on for a little while. And sometimes it's just growing pains. And sometimes, you know, it could be all kinds of things. But kids are usually pretty straightforward in like how you know, you can treat them. And so Melissa is the magic bullet for a child. You know,
Okay,
like
yeah, I like
for
that.
adults, it starts to get much more complicated. But Roman chamomile works good for a lot of things. Thyme linalool works
Yeah,
good. Lavender, mandarin, you know, African bluegrass, like all these things
yeah.
work really good. But man, when you just need like an overall like nerving, calming, soothing, calming emotions, things like that. I mean, it works well on adults, so it works
Yeah.
really good on
So,
children. Yeah.
okay, I like that. So basically,
There's been a few times where kids have had really bad nightmares, really bad nightmares. And you know, who knows why they happen, but just with the regular use of Melissa have made them completely go away. Yeah.
so as we're talking, I'm thinking for a second, so about a couple of things. So basically, it would be a good one to do like as a nightly massage type of thing, right?
Oh my
Like
God,
that's a
for just
good,
about anybody. Like,
right?
you know, here we're talking
Yeah,
about children, but like you could throw me in that mix and it would be
yeah,
amazing for me. Like, oh
yeah.
my God.
And
When I get Melissa on my body or I take a little internal, I'm like, why am I not doing this every day?
and and now that we're talking, I'm like realizing how much. Yeah, I'll definitely email you because it's gonna be a really good one, especially because I mean, they have a lot of stress over there without even realizing
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah,
Still
yeah, I
waking
agree.
up with, sirens and stuff in the middle of the night. So that'll
Yeah.
be a good one.
I would be really surprised if a child's not having nightmares with all the stuff going.
Yeah. And it's okay. Yeah, I'll definitely, I didn't even think how beneficial it would be. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm doing like a
It
nightly
is,
massage when
I
I'm
mean,
there.
because if you
So
think about it, it's like it's calming to the nerves, it's calming to the emotions, but it's also calming to the stress of the physical heart. You know what I mean? And like a lot of times, if you can take stress out of the physical heart, a lot of times the person is like, not only do they feel relaxed, but they feel clearer and they feel like more cognitive. They can get more things done. Like they're more functional. Like when there's a lot of stress in the physical heart, you get kind of the blahs, but it starts to get harder and harder to get things done. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
yeah, I got to get up and do stuff because there's stress there. You're not getting enough blood to the brain. You're not getting enough oxygen to the brain. Like the physical heart, just like the heart chakra affects the crown, the physical heart affects the brain. Like, I mean, it's right there in the same vein. And so if there's a physical heart, not necessarily a heart issue like, a blockage or something, but just stress and tension in the heart, or, maybe there's a little bit of tachycardia or arrhythmias or something, but just stress in the heart will cause the person to be like a little bit sluggish and blah.
Mhm. Yeah, no, as we're talking, I'm like really liking the idea, and also
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it could potentially be, doing it on the kids can help my sister as well.
Sure,
Might
of
calm her
course. Yeah.
down instead. So, okay, and then I can introduce that, giving because I'm doing regular massages for the little one, so I can. Okay, loving that. Thank you.
And
That
then
was
remember,
exciting.
like, and we probably have discussed this, but like whenever you're working on like little kids, um, always do their arms and legs first.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
It
Okay.
relaxes them a whole bunch. If you go
Yeah.
right to the body or the torso, they'll tense up. But if you go
Mm-hmm.
to the arms and legs, they'll melt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, so thank you because I saw that. I'm like, okay, I have to check. Okay. And then a couple of like symptom questions.
Hmm.
One of them, I mentioned a few weeks ago, I had an issue with my bottom right, one of the teeth. I had a couple of fillings. It was really bothering me. Had to see the dentist again a couple of times. Anyway, I guess it was too thick. She fixed it and it was fine. But
Hmm.
then I realized the last couple of weeks I'm having discomfort when I'm hot and cold. So I'm thinking if it might be something going on with the nerve. Like it's not a consistent pain. It's not like, oh God.
Wait. So say that again. So like
So
when your body is hot or cold,
so no, when I'm drinking,
you're
drinking,
drinking something hot or cold.
drinking hot or cold, so there's a sensation of like discomfort or pain in that same
Yeah,
area.
that sounds like an irritated nerve or a nerve
So
that's,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm not sure what, and I've been doing more work on my neck, my lymph, whatever. So I don't know if I kind of move things
I'd
around
probably
enough.
still go to the gum. Yeah, I like if it's inflamed, clove is always good, but like there, um, the thing that I might throw at it is like some Spanish sage or something. Like you rub
Which
it over.
I tried doing that a few weeks ago when we just started, but I can introduce that again. Yeah.
Did it work at all?
At that time it kind of worked, but that wasn't the issue, was really what she had to fix. So
Hmm.
I'll go back to that. Yeah,
I
that's
mean, so the other one I might throw at it is like myrrh. I might throw.
I tried to do a turmeric
I might
again.
even do, yeah, turmeric would be more like detoxifying and moving the lymph and stuff, but it might not address like
Okay.
because it's basically like hyperreactive or a hypersensitive nerve. So it's something that needs to calm down the nerve. So usually like with that, I think like because it's in the mouth, Spanish sage or like vetiver or something like that. Myrrh might work, but
And
you'll have to experiment with that. Like 'cause sometimes they just get agitated, and there still could be something that's like agitating it. You know,
it yeah. I
you
mean,
know what I
I
mean?
would rather, it doesn't feel like I called her, she has to talk to me still, but it doesn't feel like I need to go and she needs to do like some sort of like weird,
No, it probably just needs
no.
to be calmed down. Yeah.
So okay, so when I'm working, and I've been working with Clove as well. So when I'm
Mhm.
working with that, you would do what? Just massaging the gums in the area, basically?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I just put clove on the area, but some
Yeah.
people that's a little too
Oh, I
strong.
don't care.
Okay. Like, so if you don't want to get it on your finger, like soak a end of a Q-tip and then rub it on the area.
Yeah.
I just put on my finger and go,
Yeah,
ah, you
I do
know.
the same, but then
Okay.
focusing on the
So
gums
the
and
the
the
thing with that is it will calm down inflammation in the nerve, and it will, it has like an anesthetic effect on the nerve. Like, so it will
Mhm.
take some of the pain and the sensation out. And
Oh yeah.
like the thing is like sometimes the nerves get a little overstimulated or a little hyperreactive. But like sometimes if you can just break it out of that pain cycle. The other thing that I like about the clove is, if it's a very good antibacterial for the mouth, but it does kind of help strengthen the teeth.
That
And
was the next
and
question. Yeah.
yeah, like and so there's a biochemist that is a friend of mine that he says that like the studies that he's looked at, that the clove helps to remineralize
Mm,
the
right.
teeth. You know how
And you
like the
mentioned that,
dentist will
yes.
sometimes give you like put this calcium paste on your
And
teeth or
that's
whatever.
what I have to do in a couple of
Yeah,
areas.
yeah.
So
Clove
yeah,
would do something similar.
right. But then so you mentioned that, I remember, and I remember exactly what the question
Mhm.
was. But what I want to ask about that is what do I need to do, just mouthwashes and taking it
Yeah,
internally, putting it
mouthwash.
on, or
Uh,
putting it on the spot?
that and mouthwashes. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, it's fine. Yeah.
And like I do a mouthwash kind of like, use water, but it almost do like how you do the pulling thing where
Which I've been doing actually a lot of oil
yeah,
pulling.
yeah. I
I
would do that.
I
Yeah.
started doing that a few weeks ago, and that's been really helpful
Good.
overall. So,
Good, good.
okay, perfect. So I'll try all of those because I was like, I didn't know if there was something I'm missing. Okay, thank you. And then just one more question also about symptoms. I kind of dropped something on my left thumb, like a can opener, maybe a few days ago.
Mhm.
It's fine. It didn't seem like a big deal. I put, all the things, marjoram, helichrysum, whatever pain stuff, and it's fine. Like it's not. But what happens is, like, usually in the evenings, I start getting a little bit of pain there. So something is not resolved, but I
Like
can't.
what kind of pain? Like it's
Um,
sharp, it
no,
burns, it radiates.
no, like I think more of like a dull type of pain. No,
And
it's
is it
not
on
sharp. Like
it's on the joint or is it on like with the impact site or?
it's kind of like, but not really where the impact was closer to, I think, than the nail, and this one is a little bit down the thumb. And it's kind of like a dull, annoying pain. But I'm like, why is it there if it's like, what's the problem?
But it's achy.
It's achy, but it's not all the time. So it doesn't feel like it's definitely not broken, but it's
Does it feel inflamed?
no, it doesn't even look inflamed.
Does it look like it's lost a little bit of tone or shape? Like if you hold it up to the other one, does it
It
look like
looks weird. I can't explain why, but it kind of looks weird. There's
okay.
something, yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't look the same,
that's what I was shooting for.
but
Like
it's not
I'm
inflamed.
looking for weird.
Yeah.
Right? So this is what I would do. I would still put some helichrysum on it, but
Okay.
I think that take a little bit of lemongrass and mix it in some alcohol,
Okay.
like
Body tonic.
vodka or something, and just a few drops. You don't have to make very much. It's not like a big thing, but like you're just covering a little area. So just make a little tiny container of it, and then shake it up and mix it, and then rub it all over that area. Let it dry, and then take marjoram and in a little bit of lotion, and then after it dries rub it on that area, and then a couple hours later put helichrysum on it. You might try helichrysum. The other one that you might try is bay laurel, and the reason being that you had a little bit of an impact, and granted it's a minor injury, but part of what happens is, we think of inflammation and it's the muscle or the joint or all that, but sometimes the fascia will get inflamed and it doesn't really always respond to the same kind of anti-inflammatories. And lemongrass and alcohol is a really good anti-inflammatory for the fascia. And so that's why you look at, like, is there a little loss of tone? Is there like misshapen? Is it a little droopy? Is it, whatever. And so, you can rub that, let it dry, put the marjoram on immediately after that, and then probably rotate helichrysum and bay laurel, and it will probably knock that out. It's basically it's a kind of myofasciitis. It's just
Thank you.
the fascia got inflamed.
And
Yeah,
that's what I was missing, the like
yeah,
what is
that's
going on,
that's
because
all.
I tried, because my train of thought was wrong. I tried like joint relief, but it's not a
Yeah,
joint.
I
Uh,
mean, still
uh
could be a thing to try, but like given that you
yeah,
have
no, I'll do, yeah,
impact, like it's probably
yeah.
myofasciitis.
And then lemongrass body tonic.
Yeah,
Does
sure.
that,
That's
yeah?
perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's much
Yeah, yeah.
easier than mixing and doing. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. No, if you've got
thank you.
that, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to tell you to make a real simple version of the body tonic. So if you've got
yeah.
the body tonic, go for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. And then helichrysum, neat or
Yeah, just
ointment?
neat. Just
Neat.
neat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
You're
that's what I
so
was missing because
yeah.
I couldn't break it down. So yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Thank you so much.
My fasciitis is like hard, like, we can become aware of it sometimes, like in the foot or something, but it can happen
Mhm.
in other areas of the body, and it's a little bit harder to treat just because it doesn't usually respond to like normal anti-inflammatories and such. And
Mhm.
so you kind of almost have to go, oh yeah, that's what that is, and then treating it, and then it becomes easier to treat.
Yeah, and
And
especially
it's
since
like you
it
almost
kind
have
of
to be looking specifically for it.
and here it
Yeah.
was weird because I thought it was fine and
Yeah.
then it kind of came back and I treat things really quick, like okay, tarragon
Sure.
and this and that, and
Yeah.
the pain goes
Yeah,
away.
you did all the right stuff. Like
Yeah,
helichrysum
yeah,
on anything, like soon as you're injured is, usually knocks out a lot of it. But,
yeah.
like long term,
Mm-hmm.
those are the things you gotta do. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then doing that, what you think, once a day, twice a day, kind of?
I do it a couple times a day.
Okay,
If you're at
perfect.
home and you want to do it more,
Yeah.
you could, but like, at
Okay.
least once or twice a day.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead, Heather, then Ralph.
Hey, Heather.
Hello. Okay, hopefully you can hear me well now.
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I've got a few things for you. The use in pranic healing of 382. Yeah. I sometimes do the full version with hand movements, but a lot of times I've just been doing like instructive healing where I'm just thinking of cleansing the 5 lines with light whitish green and straightening the health rays. And then I go through the violet and electric violet and whatnot, just all by saying it. And I guess I got a couple of questions about this. My thought is that instructive healing is still effective, but maybe not as effective as full-on pranic healing with the hand movements. Would I be correct?
It would depend on the person. Usually, the more that the intuition is like been strengthened, like you can do a bit of instructive healing, but
Mm-hmm.
intuition has to be pretty strong for the person for that to work well.
Okay. So it would be better to just err on doing it with the hand movements, even though that's going to take much more time. Because I'm doing that just because I'm pressed for time.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, if I were doing the full pranic healing version of the 382, is there any limitations of how often
I
it can
I
be
don't
used?
really teach. I really don't teach pranic healing. So I did a long time ago, but yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, the other thing is about pranic agriculture. I don't know if you ever heard anything about that.
yeah, I know the guy that did it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I'd have to try to figure that out and contact him to ask about some details on it.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there.
Don't know anything on that.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
haven't talked to him in probably 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing with mm, I guess for my sauna use, I've got the oils and whatnot, and that's great. But is there
For the what?
anything
Sauna.
that
Oh yeah,
it
yeah.
for my sauna thing?
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing that, trying to do that 5 times a week, like 15, 20 minutes. And I'm wondering if there's any type of mm, not pranic healing, but other things that I can be thinking about while I'm in there for 15, 20 minutes of ways to work on healing myself instead of just sitting there, laying there.
Oh, I think there's something to be said to letting your body like relax and go into that like out of the intellectual mind and into the intuitive mind. The intuitive mind is where the healing is going to happen. And
Hmm.
so, like, allowing yourself to have that time where your mind's not having to be busy and doing things, that's the thing with the intellect is it thinks it has to make everything happen, and your body's already wired for the healing. So just allowing yourself to kind of like sink into the process and letting your body go into the rest and repair mode like while you're in there I
Hmm.
think is a great thing to do.
Okay. So not
Yeah,
necessarily try to be thinking anything, just
yeah, I would just get in there and enjoy the
relax and
sauna.
absorb.
Yeah, take a little
Okay.
15 or 20-minute vacation.
I'll try the vacation form of the sauna.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how that goes. So far,
Right.
I'm just liking I know I'm butchering the name. Uh, oh shoot. It's the I think it's a blend. Maybe it's eucalyptus, but it smells like citronella. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Eucalyptus citriodora?
Citradora, sure.
Citrodora. Okay. Yeah, that's one I've been using a lot. I like it.
Yeah, it's calming and soothing and it's very anti-inflammatory. So it's a great one to use.
Okay. All right. I'll
Yeah.
keep it up till I get sick of it. All right. Great. Thank,
All
thank
right,
you, Greg.
you bet. Take care.
And then go ahead, Ralph.
Hey Greg, question
Hmm.
on Melissa.
Uh-huh.
Um, can I use, so I have more Spagyric Melissa than I've got any other kind of Melissa in right now.
Okay.
Can I put Spagyric Melissa topically?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
in fact, what I would do is like like if you wanted to like do a spot treatment, but with that, what you could do is pour some into a bottle and then add like a little bit more alcohol to it, and then shake it up and then use it over a big area of the body,
Okay.
instead of just taking a little tiny bit and putting it on different parts. But like when I make the body tonic, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I put a decent amount of the tincture in, and then I put also the essential oils and all that stuff. And so the tincture is like if you water it down with a little bit more extra alcohol, it kind of turns it into like a liniment, because a liniment is just, or a body tonic is just, a level of extraction of that herb and some sort of carrier, and it's usually alcohol or vinegar or something like that. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
you can kind of make your own like little liniment like that.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I mean, I was even doing a thing for a little while. I stopped doing it, but like, how you would take a tincture full of the Melissa internally is I was
Yeah.
putting a tincture in my bath and
Hmm.
doing that, and I don't know, it felt pretty good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna.
you could explore all kinds of things with that.
Yeah.
Think
Okay.
of it as a kind of concentrate. So you could take it internally, or you could add it to like a body tonic or a liniment, or you could add it a little bit to a bath. You could do any version of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going through the brain waves for materialization that we had back in June today,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I had lots and lots of really childhood stuff coming up. Very
Hmm.
agitated, and
And
so I was.
are you feeling okay now, or like where you at?
Yeah, I'm doing better now because I stopped in the middle and I did a couple of rounds of benzoin, and it
Good call.
disconnected
Yeah, very, very good
disconnected
call.
me disconnected me enough from the old stuff to allow me to continue doing the brainwaves class. But I was just you were just mentioned using the Melissa topically, and I'm going, ooh, that might be good because I know I've used Melissa before to disconnect myself from things that were heavy
So
duty going on.
So I think that's all good. I think those are all good strategies to put in place. The other thing that I would say is, when those things are kind of arising from like when we're a little kid or just tendencies or things that are like upsetting, I would try using you have the teacher's kit or the plant teacher's kit, yeah?
Yes.
And in that, I think there is ginger lily, right?
Yeah.
I would use ginger lily on the organs of blood purification. Like I'd
Okay.
still do all the things that you said, like all
Mm-hmm.
the things, all those are great strategies. But, there's something to be said about like when you go through and you work, the ginger lily is very transmuting, and then when you hit those organs of blood purification, you're really transmuting a lot of like that physiological emotional responses to things. And the other one is like you're kind of on already on that is Melissa, Neroli, Clary Sage. I find Melissa and Neroli to be a bit more soothing, where the Clary Sage is will reduce the stress, but it kind of brings things like it flushes things out of the energy body. Emotionally, it can be calming and soothing, but it still kind of sits in the energy body a little bit. Where the Melissa, the Neroli, the ginger leaf kind of will flush those things out, but because they're so activating to the heart keeps cleaning it up. Where
Mm-hmm.
I think I could be wrong, but the clary sage kind of flushes it out, but isn't quite as activating to the heart. A little bit more activating to the intuitive part of the mind, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't quite have that flushing effect out of the system as like some of those other ones. And so
Yeah.
I would throw that on the mix, but you had very good instincts in the things that you did for going through and treating that. And so, yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
One other thing, like occasionally I will get a wild thought about something, be it, oh, I really want a new pair of shoes or something like that. And it's
Hmm.
like that thought takes over, and it becomes, it's like the intellect takes over and just wants to grab that and run it into the ground.
I hear you. You know what my
And
version of it is? I can't find something. And a lot of times I really don't need it, but it's like I
I
should
gotta
know where
find
it's
that
at. I
damn
gotta
thing.
find it
Yeah.
right now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, let's start a
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
I say we start a club. Oh my God, that is such a thing for me.
Okay.
So
I used to call that being strapped in the back seat of the 40-foot long school bus with an insane kangaroo driving. You know, it's like I'm a complete passenger being driven by some insano.
That's quite the visual.
And
Um,
if you've ever ridden in the back of one of those short
oh
wheelbase
yeah,
long
yeah,
school
yeah.
buses, you know how badly that
Yeah, yeah,
back
I
seat
know.
can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Try
oil? What oil can I
try
throw in it?
mugwort. Try
Mugwort.
mugwort.
Okay.
Like I'd try mugwort. I would try Palo Santo. Um, sometimes like I've tried aloes, but I
Hmm.
think mugwort and Palo Santo give you a little bit more of an immediate effect. You know, because
Yeah.
like a lot of times if I like sit down and like I start thinking about something else and then I go back to it, I don't have that drive anymore. And so it's
Mm.
almost like you just got to get a little bit redirected a little bit. And Palo Santo and mugwort are both very good for that. Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'll
Yeah.
run that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
keep me posted. We'll
Okay.
talk
Okay.
about it at our next clubhouse meeting.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Thanks.
You're so welcome. So we're going to jump over to the Star Prayer Petition. If you still had some things, feel free to email us. If we didn't get to everybody's questions. And yeah, and then tomorrow night is open to everybody. We did a deeper dive on vagal tone. We played with angels on the weekend. Feel free to join us tomorrow night for the study group if you'd like. And we're going to do the prayer petitions. And again, this weekend is a 1 day deeper dive on vagal tone. And so you probably have the oils that you need. So I just join us. Yeah.